we may have to flip this thing short. Only when you get like a really extended stock like this can you have it kind of like looking at it both ways. Now, I'm not seeing any other good gappers that I really like. And look, what are you guys seeing? Anything fun? Cool. So when you got the cues like this, it's really just all systems is a go. So what you want to really be thinking is like, okay, the market's at highs. Good morning, right? The market's at highs. And so when you're in that bullish thrust, you can be a little bit more aggressive with your longs and stuff like that. The thing to remember, though, is that when the market is making like this kind of like bullish stuff, there's not necessarily any volatility. So you're not going to get like 200-point days like up and down on this thing. Hey, Dane, what's up, baby? How you doing? You're not going to get like 200-point days up and down on this thing. It's going to be more of a grind. That's why you want to really focus in on themes. Like, what are the sectors that are running in hot? And then you want to focus in on, okay, what stocks are really moving around on earnings, and then kind of narrow down your list. So like in a hot market like this, my list might be 30, 40 names, but then we would need to narrow it down to really just like a handful, right? So we'll be just like kind of mindful of the different levels. So, obviously crowd will be our top for today. We just need this thing to pull back. Like, I won't chase this thing up 20%. It's going to be a huge... At a $14 billion company, you start chasing them up 20%. It's a really, really easy way to just get smoked. So let this thing pull back. Once it pulls back, that first dip I'll be monitoring on multiple time frames. We'll be good to go. This Skeechers is like, this one has a chance. They do make some butt ugly shoes, so I feel it's like, when you kind of buy when you trade Crocs, you feel so dirty. And like Skeechers is like Crocs is slightly better redheaded cousin, where you're like, man, I wouldn't do it, but I would because it's a redhead. That's what you would do for Skeechers, and Reed, you would love Crocs. You would love Crocs. That's that's the only thing I'd kind of be mindful of is I don't want to be known as the guy that bought any Skeechers, but we may have to trade it. This WW's been actually really trending for a while, but you got like a nice consolidation over here. If you look at its like hourly chart, pre-market, you're starting to break out of this thing. It overall has like a really nice look to it. It's got decent enough liquidity. I think we can play this one also. The main watches for today will be gold. Gold went on that monster. Hopefully somebody was playing it yesterday. So you went red to green on JNUG yesterday. That first dip was bought. Guys, when you have like a trender, it's really important to like hammer like every single setup you can on it. Because, even though like say something goes from 72 to 86, well, that's $14, but you can be like reloading, more and more like on the different setups. And so you can definitely, you can end up taking like a monster chunk out of a trade that maybe only moved $15, but you're sashaying around like a pro. You'll be able to really capture something into it. MTP is kind of like the small cap bonanza for today. It's Friday, so I'm not going to be trading this thing. Friday's like the worst time to trade small caps, not because they fail any more than they go, but it's just when you lose on them, you really feel like a degenerate. You're like, man, I just blew my rent money on fucking MTP. Some asshole pumped it, and here I am holding the bag on it. So now I gotta go get a pack of Marlboro Reds, get the Vaseline out, get my Netflix out if I can even afford my subscription to Netflix because I just lost it on MTP. Next thing you know, you're in there smoking cigarettes in your bed. Your mom's yelling at you, telling you to turn the fan on. And you're sitting there saying, I'm 42 years old and an MTP investor because I didn't stop out of this play. And now you're just stuck. You know what's going to happen. So Jay, now you can play MTP. Let me just walk you back. It's got to hold this 200 SMA here. And then, you're starting to flag out a little bit on in the pre-market. So just be mindful of like the levels when you take something like this. And of course, you got to stop out of that thing. If it does not work, if it doesn't follow through, like get out of them quickly. You'll be able to get like another opportunity on these, and sometimes they just roll over and turn short anyways. See, my guess is, let me see, they had a reverse split on April 10th. So my guess is like something like this, like the float on this is going to be $1 million, maybe something like that. So think about like how easy it is to move a stock that does a million float. It's got $1 million float. You've got people that have like thousands of small cap traders in their chat room, right? You got 2, 3, 4,000, pimply faced kids living in their mom's basements on their Robinhood apps, right? All waiting for this magic alert on the new hot small cap runner. So then this thing goes. You got 4,000 people all buying 2,000, 3,000 shares. Well, right there, you just covered the float times 10, and that's how these things run. So now if you can be the first one in, you're good. But if you are the last man to the gangbang, well, your friends have just dusted you in a very not polite way. And that's not cool. You can always be the second. You can be the third. If she's hot enough, you might even be the fourth. You don't want to be the 10th or the 12th or the 13th. That's just weird. That's foul. It's Friday. Times are changing. We don't want to even be around like that. This OSTK, I still got it on Watchlist. Man, it was acting like a turd yesterday. We had the breakout, and then it just completely rolled over. So I'm not sure what to make of it. The tape has changed on it. At first, all dips were getting bought on this, and now all strength is getting faded off on this. It may dip and rip again today, but just watch that 20 mark at some point. Like, that may be the spot that takes it. Guys, ZM had a nasty day yesterday, but I'm thinking with the earnings on crowd today, this one actually, it may bounce off the 9 and make its way back to 100. So definitely keep this one on watch. This square is ready to break out. So if you guys see here, you've got a nice trend line break. You've got 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests. You got the 9 EMA up under 80. So you got a buck risk on this thing. I think that this one may have a chance to go. The only caveat on this one is going to be more are the cryptos. Square sometimes moves with Bitcoin. So you got to be a little bit careful. Sometimes it goes, sometimes it follows it, sometimes it decouples a little bit, but otherwise it'll be fine. Roku. So you got 2-day pullback. Yesterday's pullback was a little bit because of the Netflix earnings. You've got yourself a nice breakout pullback. If we get just one more kind of just little push down, that'd be awesome. We get a quintessential breakout pullback. This one's got liquidity and range. This is a daily trader for us in general, so I do like that one. And then keep the zebra on watch list for a bear flag here. You got really good range on this thing. It's got 20 points. Guys, even if a stock is $200, don't worry about the price of a stock. If you can only buy XYZ shares. If you can only buy 50 shares of a $200 stock or short 50 shares, but it has the ability to move 10 points, 15 points, you're still going to get the range that you need to make profits, whether you can buy 2,000 shares of the next MTP or not. Doesn't really matter. Movement's movement, range is range, in general. And keep an eye on this EGBN. This thing actually had some nasty news out yesterday. They're getting a whole host of downgrades and stuff like that. But this is the type of stock, if I see something like this and it has this nasty kind of news, what I'll usually do is I'll watch and see if it gets jammed up this today. If it starts getting back into some resistance points, what I'll start to do is look and watch on the tape on a smaller term time frame and see if it starts to roll over. You may get a green to red. You may get a red to green, green to red type of action on it where it starts to re-roll. So just keep an eye on this one. It fell a lot, so it may squeeze a little bit today. But if this thing starts to really push into some different levels, you'll probably get a secondary re-short on it and actually end up being pretty well. I didn't see really any other good earnings plays out today. Oh, Red Robin. Red Robin. Man, we can't buy this. They got the worst food there. My dad used to take me here all the time. This is a Michigan staple. Well, you know, you do have a really nice range break here. I would actually keep this on the list. Oh, shit. All right. This is Red Robin's like the Skeechers of food. But who are we to judge? Right? Who are we to judge? All right. So this one is actually creeping up a little bit. You know, I probably didn't come up because of the volume. But this one actually has a nice range break. If it holds over this level right here, I'd start looking at this thing for potential ORB. You may be able to get like a little bit of action on this one. I'd add it in. RR, G to the BB. RRGB. Cool. What else? What are you guys watching? So favorites for today, Crowd, Nugget, J-Nug. OSTK's been like a daily trader for us. The rest of this stuff is so-so. BA looks okay. I would roll with that. Boeing to record, after text chart, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I would roll with BA. Now, I got bad luck trading BA, but... Okay, Vikram, you motherfucker. Let me see here. Yeah, you know what? Like, BYND looks pretty good, guys. Watch this thing for the range break here. You know what? That's my bad. I should have been a little bit more focused on this one. Put this back on your list. BYND's been like a big hoe since, you know, for almost a month now. So you got a 1 month range break on this. You got a 1 month range break on this. If this thing rips over 175, I think that's pretty good. Read, let's see, MU. Yeah, like MU's a really thick stock. It's got a billion share float, but it's decent. Like I would put that on the list too. So move BYND on the list too. That was my bad. I should be keeping this on. This thing is really coiled up. This thing is real coiled up. So we see this thing go. I think that's something that we can roll with. And I know for some of you guys, you like MTP. I will not trade this on a Friday. I will not. Mark my words. So guys, be good, be fast, be fun. As always, it's Friday. Try not to get too wild. You don't want to ruin your day. But we've got things to do. We got people to do, things to see. Everybody, let's make it happen. We've had a decent week so far, but we can always crush a little bit better. All right? Let's go do what we do. The dude.